Hello, everyone. My name is Alvaro, and I work on Devprime engineering team. And today I am here to talk about a very important subject for us developers in our daily life. Sometimes our applications receive some repeated events or repeated requests. Allow me to share with you. Okay, and what we have to do when we receive a repeated request? What we have to do when we receive a repeated event? First of all, we have to verify if it's a repeated event, if it's a repeated request, because process repeated information can cause loss of consistency in our databases. So it's not good. Come to think of it, receive web requests from websites and mobile applications, different applications. And we are talking about this purple highlighted zone here. We're talking about our microservice, our business intelligence, our business logic applications, which are the backend applications for entire ecosystem. We got some API gateway in the over these applications, and we got many different front-end applications consuming these APIs. In addition, we got lots of events being emitted through these applications, talking about business facts that happen inside of them. In addition, databases and a lot of different tools that are connected to this ecosystem process this data and also applying intelligence, analytics, and all this technology in the middleware. But there's essentially a core in all these ecosystem, and this core, this most important intelligent part is the business itself. So decisions in business are made by applications, and we are developing these microservices, these business applications. So we can't allow, for example, to have a repeat payment. Okay, a repeated payment. For example, let's think about that. Your customer is buying something on the mobile, and it click twice in the button, so it wanna pay twice. We don't want to pay twice. We need to discard the second request. In addition, we can receive also repeated stream events. For example, if you have some stream delivery at least once guarantee, there's some characteristics in our stream technologies that allows it to deliver at least once, which means that our event can come to us twice or maybe more. So it can happen. It will be delivered at least one time, so it can be repeated. So our applications need to be ready for that. And we have to prepare each one of our applications one by one. And there's a lot of steps that we need to do that in order to prepare our applications, in order to make that all applications will be protected to repeated events or repeated requests. And when we start to create an application, before we go any further, I want to show you our big picture. In this demo, we're building we're building an application made by two microservices. We're building an application that receive order, requests, do some processing, and then save its state and emit an event. This order microservice emits an order event. This event hence will be detected by another microservice that will react to it on the strings adapter, do some processing, and save its state. So this is our big picture. And let's start to code it together. In order to introduce you Devprime, it's very important to notice that before we start to create a microservice, we need to define how would it be, how many layers it's gonna have, and what would be the responsibility of each one of these layers and how they relate one each other. So there's engineering projects. There's an engineering project involved here. There are choices that have to be taken, and they have to be taken careful because every choice has consequences. And we can start talk about weeks about how to create a better architecture, or we can just meet the Devprime CLI. Devprime CLI is a command line interface which speeds up many steps in our daily routine as developers. And one of the steps it will accelerate for us is to create a new microservice. So before we define a new project with many layers and many folders and many different classes and roles. So just create a new microservice here with this command line. I want a microservice called order. It have to be connected on MongoDB as a database and with RabbitMQ as string technology. And I have my microservice, and it's a production ready microservice, which means that it's ready to go to production. All right, okay, let's go there. So there's a new folder. I'm gonna navigate to it, open our code. This is our application structure, and every Devprime application got the same structure. So if you developer working on one squad with Devprime, this developer can be placed in every all other squad, because all Devprime applications got the same organizations, the same structure. And in this structure, we got a special component called adapters. All technology aspects of our applications are here inside the adapters. So if you want to receive web requests, we have a project called web. If you need to communicate with string technology, async communication with Kafka or RabbitMQ and so on, we got a stream adapter. If you need to talk to SQL, NoSQL database, so we got a state adapter. If you want to call another API, we got a service adapter to make a gRPC or HTTP. Doesn't really matter. Call an external API. It's a service adapter. If we need to connect to integrate with authentication authorization with our identity provider, so got a security adapter. As you can see, there is a unique exclusive responsibility for each one of these adapters, and all technology are inside the big component adapters, which makes, as a natural consequence, our domain decouple. Here, folks, are our business intelligence, our business logic of our applications. It's embedded here in the. We need to put some dependency injection and some basic tests. There's a lot of things that we have to write in order to keep our application running. And we can do that by hand. Just open here and write code. That's okay. It's allowed. But I also can show you a faster way to do that. I got some business domain classes on it. So I can just type on my Devprime CLI dp init. dp init gonna analyze my domain classes, and based on them, there is some implementations that will be done. Let's check it out. Click on our states adapter. Okay, total 30 created, 11 modified, 41 files in total. So we got repositories now. We got repository states, connections. So there are some partners in industry that every time we need to code, and now I don't have to because Devprime CLI did it for me. In addition, there's some mock tests and also classes in order to expose on our API, repository, events handler, dependency injections, and many other things. So I'm showing some code here of the repository. Also, we expose APIs. So we got our APIs exposed. In this case, I just have to run my microservice again. And now we have our domain classes on the core of our applications, and we also did some implementations in order to enable communication with adapters. Our application's up and running, and if you refresh it, wow, we got a totally full functionality API. So we can post here, just make a post in order to, I'm gonna run another microservice here, is the payment microservice. I bought it, I brought it, I didn't bought it, I brought it to our presentations already done. This is the second one microservice. It follows the same principles in the order microservice, okay? And the role on this processing will be receive an event, do some processing, and save its state. This is what we're gonna do. Okay, so on the oops, so the minus there's another. Wait a minute, change ports. It's running the same port. Okay, and now. So we got the order microservice in the first tab, and we got the payment microservice in the second tab. And let's make a web request here. Okay, let's make a web request here. And we got a successful web request. So we got a successful web request. Our web request comes to the web adapter. Comes to the web adapter. Here comes our web request starts here with the web adapter. So it goes across the internal layers. So in the state adapter, it saves its states on the MongoDB. In string adapter, it emits an event order created on the RabbitMQ. So every step we design to be is here. So we're processing web requests inside the order microservice, and there's an out event order created, which gonna reaches the second microservice, the payment microservice now. So let's track these events on payments. I'm changing the tab. I am on the second microservice, and we are on the payment microservice, and we got the stream event in coming into my microservice. So we got a string here, go to the internal layers, application domain, and in the end, go to the state and save its state. So process is going, is running, and we are making lots of requests here, and everything is working. So I just place a web request, and I receive a successful answer every time. But I'm making repeated requests. I'm not changing nothing in my request. So it would be a problem if we in this case, because we got no consistency of it. Here we're posting the same thing, and we need to enable idempotency in our application. And to do that, there's a lot of implementations that have to be done, but we are on Devprime. So we only need to change some configs like this. I'm gonna change this idempotent. I'm just Devprime app, idempotent. This is my app settings, okay? It's on source app settings, and I'm changed idempotence to true. I got an alias in order to place my um, persistence. So I'm gonna, I need to give a state config in order to have this support. So in state, I need to have state 2 here. Wait a minute. State 2. Now we have our idempotence enabled, and that's it. Just 2 configs, and run our application again. Let's face what's happened. Running our application. If you haven't downloaded yet Devprime, go download it, test it, and give us some feedbacks. Okay, we're running our application and let's make a web request. Now we got an idempotency enable and it is a backend strategy. I'm gonna show you a little bit more about it. What is the backend thing? The backend is when decisions are made on the backend. Oh, sounds that easy, right? Oh, yes, but it is. When the backend itself decides if there it is a repeated request, decisions are taken in will be taken in the back end. But if your applications, for example, your mobile applications, your front end applications wants to have a gate, have a string in order to control the idempotency on the front end, you can give them the control. Just say, okay, but give me a key in my header, in my request header, and I will control idempotency based on this key. That's it. That's that easy. In this case, our microservice is running on a backend strategy. So we got decisions taken in microservice. Okay, so let's make some web requests. This is the first one I'm making with Alvaro, customer name string. Okay, this is this web request. And I'm making the same. Oh, there's something really special here. Before we go any further, there's something really special here. Uh, we got some tags here. We got the idempotency. We got the idempotency initialize up here, and we got the idempotency complete down here. Accept. This means that there's a smart behavior running here, and it will be affecting all requests that coming. So in this case, this has been accepted. But if I repeat the same request, oh no, I got an error. Why? Why? It's being rejected because idempotency rejects duplicated command. And I got the same error here. Idempotency rejects duplicated command. So idempotency is prevent me to receive repeated requests. But let's suppose that I want to control that for my front end applications or my mobile application, for example. So I only need to change some configs here. Just change app settings, idempotency from back end to front end. And now our microservice got a idempotency key here. So we need to have it. If I try to just make a web request on this in this situation with no extra header, I'm going to receive an error because if Devprime it's awaiting for when you enable these idempotency as a front end. So if it's true and it's a front end, you need to pass a header key on your web requests because the idempotency control needed. Okay, we're running idempotency and now it's on front end. So it's up to your front end applications to control the numbers of each request. In this case, I'm using no header in our request. So if I place my request, we got a event rejected idempotency key requires. So it's missing. There's no idempotency key here. It's required. It's missing. I need to check it out. This on the so we need to have idempotency key on the request header. So I can have a idempotency key here and everything will be fine. Okay, success true. Now I got it because I am controlling my web requests by placing a number on the idempotency key on the headers. On the web request headers, I am controlling my repeated requests on the front end. So Devprime also work on this strategy and it enables you, if I do the same request with the same idempotency key number 001, it will be rejected because now it is a rejected duplicated command because this number has already been sent and has already been processed. So there is it's a repeated information. If I want to change my number, so the request will be accepted. Let's paste it. Now we have success. So we're controlling our idempotency in the front end, but let's change a little bit our strategy and let's play a little bit with the second microservice, the our payment microservice. Let's play with it. We know payment microservice needs to receive events, and these events needs to be uh, detected, processed, and then the result will be placed on a database. So our payment cannot receive repeated events because they're asking for payments, it's problematic. We need to deal with it with an important strategy also. So we are here in the payment microservice and we are about to change some configs also. Let's wait a minute. So we got the same configs, same way we got in the order microservice. We got here in the payment idempotency we want to be true, and it's a backend for us. It's enough for a while. Just we need to have a state two configured, and we already have it. Cool. So now we only need to run our payment microservice. It's up and running. I think I'm gonna need a sample event because our order application will not be running. So I brought some sample event here. We can just place on the RedTeam queue directly into the RedTeam queue in order to show you the idempotency process. So we are here. Okay. Okay. You'll be pushing our message. We'll be publishing our messages here, okay, in order to keep control if we're changing the payload or if we are not changing the payload. Okay, it's running. And now we're running on payments, okay? There is idempotency enabled in it on back end. And there are other important parties also here. I will explain this a little bit later. And now we are about to receive an event on the RedTeam queue. And this is the same event I will be sending many different times. So I publish an event, idempotency initialize. So idempotency initialize and idempotency complete accepted. If I place the same event here, if I go here and I publish the same event, so it has been rejected because there's a duplicated command. So I need to change my payload in order to process the event. For example, if I'm not Álvaro Maia do Vale, but I am Álvaro Maia of Vale, for example. Now, if I place this event will be accepted because it's a new event. I changed the payload. Now it has been accepted. Everything went fine. Okay, our events are controlled, but it means that every event that comes to this application will have the idempotency enabled. But if I just want to handle one by one my events, for example, let's suppose that I change my configs from not from auto, but to a manual, just idempotency. Instead of action, I want to do that manually. Okay, manual, and I got a flag. This flag will enable my event to be idempotent. If I have in Devprime, if you are not, if you not get used it yet with Devprime, go to the devprime.io, download it, try it, and try to reproduce these steps here and give me a feedback. Okay, it would be very appreciated. And what we have here, it's a subscribe for an event, of course. So your event comes here in Devprime through these subscribes. So every new entry like this, if I have one here, another one here, every one of these entries means that I am subscribing to a specific event. In this case, I'm subscribing to order created. So this is what I do when I receive the order created event. So every event will have a line like that in this event stream file. So every event I'm listing will have its own subscribe. In this case, I want to tell you that this event will be enabled for idempotency, which means that this special event I don't want to receive twice. And I can do that inside of Prime event by event. So in this case, I will not be enabling these events. Okay, so in my code, I'm not expecting this event to be idempotent, but I'm running on manual. So our idempotency only will work if I say this explicitly. Okay, so I have to say word by word that I want this event to be idempotent because it's not action auto anymore, but it's manual. So I have to say one by one. Let's run this event. Bring a new event here, not Alvaro Maya of Valley anymore, but I'm Alvaro Maya Valley. We're running our microservice. Okay, and now I'm gonna publish my event. It's a brand new event, so everything works okay. If I repeat my event, it comes again. And if I repeat my event, it comes again. Say, okay, let's check it out. 24, 43, 57. Let's place another time. So it changes. So there's another event comes in every time. Because why? Why it is no idempotent? Because I am in the manual action. So I need to say one by one to my events so they can be idempotent. In this case, I'm enabling idempotent for these specific events, which means that all the other events in my applications will not be idempotent. Now I'm running. Okay, we're running idempotency. In this way, I'm just, let me change something here, like Alvaro de Maya Valley. So I make a publish, our events comes in, it has been accepted. And if I publish again, oh, now it's rejected. Now we have the idempotence working again because I say that word by word that I want this event to be idempotent. Okay, folks, just that's it. What I have to show today is that it's important to prevent to receive duplicated informations because it can damage the consistency of your data and your applications need to do that. And if you forget to implement these features on your microservice, you have to, you have to get really really worried. So for the reason you don't, if you don't want to get worried about need to implement this in every application, just download Devprime, start to use it, and see that it speeds up lots of steps for you. Create a production ready microservice, write your domain logic inside of it, run the accelerators, and make your microservice up and running with all these smart behaviors and many more. If you don't follow us here on YouTube, just please keep uh, subscribe, share, and give me comments and some feedbacks also. See you the next time, folks. Bye bye.